Hello friends, welcome to Ikra Technology. Let's understand Python static method. So what static means here in Python? So static method is the method which does not need any instantiation, means you do not need to create object to use that method. You can directly use it calling the class name. So they belong to class, not to object. So whatever changes we do is on based what, so the normal method we create is called as instance method, and the method we are studying now is called as static method. Why is called as static method? Because static method belongs to the class itself and it does not change based on object. Okay, so let's see how to create a static method. Static method is created like any other method, but you just have to use this static method decorator one line over the definition of the method. So it is created like any other method, but one thing to note is as static method do not points to any object, so we do not need self parameter here, right? This is how you create static method, and to call static method you directly use the class name dot method name. Okay, so let's see an example. So here we have created a class called program. Here we have defined two attributes, name Hamza, age 46, and we have created a static method. So static method belongs to class. Here you can see we have provided the person dot name directly from the class. We first we have created static method, then we have not passed any self parameter, so it is not pointing to any object. Okay, here we have given the person dot name which is from class again, and we are giving person dot age which is again from the class. So this whole static method belongs to class itself. Now when the method belongs to class itself, there is no object involved, so there is no need to even create object. You can directly run this static method using the class name dot method name. So what is class name? Program. And what is method name? myfunc. So program dot myfunc. This is how you run a static method. Okay, let's understand the difference between a regular method and a static method. Okay, so this is a regular method. What we are first, we will see regular method. Okay, so what regular method is, it takes first parameter as self, right? See here there is no self parameter. What it is doing here, it is taking two parameter a and b, and it is returning the addition of these two parameters, right? And what static method is doing is same thing. It is taking two parameters a and b, and it is returning the addition of a plus b. These both functions are doing same thing, but this is a regular method, or you can say instance method, and and this is an static method. So now let's see how we call a normal method and a static method. To call an instance method of any class, you first have to instantiate the class. That means you have to create the object of the class. So here I am creating an object, math op is equals to math operations, and then using that object, that is math op dot add, and I am passing two values. So I am using these object to call the method. Okay, so this method will change as per the object, but here I am directly calling the add method, which is a static method, using the class name. See, our class name is math operation, and I am directly calling it using the class name dot method name. So now let's see, we have both the methods, but you might be confused that why to use a static method instead of regular method. So first, you do not need to create any object, no object is involved, so it saves memory and time, first thing. And second thing, static method, sometimes we need method for the purpose where we do not need it to change based on object, we want it to belong to class, which we want it to use as helper functions, which means it does not have to do anything with the object, but it has to do with the template, that means with our class. So in that situations we use static method. And when you want the logic to be common across all objects, because what happens when we create an object is logic changes for different object as our programs or our structures get complex. But using a static method make sure that your logic, whatever logic you are writing, will be same across all the class. So let's better understand it with an example. Here we have created a class user. This is a user count. Okay, so what user count is doing is it will keep the count of number of users created, okay, and assign them a unique id. Okay, so here what we are doing is, this is our constructor where we are assigning self dot name is equals to name. Okay, here I have created static method. What static method will be doing is generating the user id. So let's understand. When we are creating object of different class, it will always start with the different numbers, right? Means it will always start with, if I am creating object 1, then its id will be 1, and if I'm creating object 2, its id will again be 1. If I'm creating object 3, its id will again be 1, as it is considering all the objects different, means all the logic different across the different objects. So what here we are doing is, we are creating a static method, which is, you can again say, a helper method which generates the user id. So whenever user creates an object, it will increment the user count. Okay, so here we are using this, you can see, right? We are using this variable and incrementing its count and returning the user id. Now this is a class based function, so we will be using this function inside the class. So this generate user id function is called it in our constructor. So what it is doing is, it is assigning the user id based on the value in our class, not in our object. The values in object does not affect it anyway. It is incrementing and using the logic of class itself. So here we are creating multiple user, and each user will be assigned unique id. So this is one of the use cases of static method, you can say. Okay, so let's revise what we learned today. Python static method. Static method is a method which remains same across all the instances, which means across all the object the logic will be same. This is a method which belongs to class rather than objects. The normal method we create are instance method, and this method is a static method which belongs to class. Static methods are useful in the situation where you need helper or utility functions, or where there is a situation where there is a need where you want the logic to be same across all the objects. Okay, so let's see how to create a static method. Static method is created using static method decorator, then def keyword method name, and make sure you do not pass self parameter as it does not include any interaction with any objects. Then static method is called using the class name dot method name. So difference between a regular method and static method is, first, static method does not have self keyword and regular method does have self keyword. Second, you need to create instance of the regular method while you do not need to create any instance of static method. Third, static method is called using the class name while the regular method is called using the object name. Static method is used in the situation where you need helper and utility functions. Regular method is created in the situation where you need to interact with the object. So yeah, that's all about today's video. Thank you.